The rock music community has recently found itself pausing in reflection, not to confirm an ending, but to recognize the deep emotional connection fans feel toward Brad Arnold, the founder and unmistakable voice of Three Doors Down. Waves of concern, tribute-style messages, and heartfelt memories have circulated widely, showing just how meaningful his presence has been in people's lives. Rather than focusing on rumors or finality, this moment has become about appreciation and awareness. Brad Arnold's journey, including his public health struggles, reminded listeners that even the strongest voices are human. Fans responded not with panic, but with gratitude for decades of music that helped them through joy, heartbreak, and uncertainty. The shared emotion surrounding him revealed something powerful. An artist does not need a final chapter to be honored. Sometimes reflection itself becomes a celebration of life, resilience, and the lasting power of music that refuses to fade. The heart and voice behind Three Doors Down, Brad Arnold has always been more than just a frontman. As a founding member, vocalist, and songwriter, he shaped the emotional backbone of Three Doors Down from the very beginning. His voice carried a raw sincerity that stood out in an era crowded with loud personalities and manufactured images. What made Brad different was his ability to sound like someone you knew, someone who understood everyday struggles without dressing them up. He sang with conviction, but never arrogance. His lyrics spoke about vulnerability, doubt, hope, and perseverance in ways that felt honest rather than dramatic. That balance became the band's signature. Fans didn't just listen to Three Doors Down, they trusted them. Brad's presence grounded the music, allowing listeners to see themselves in the songs. His role wasn't about dominating the spotlight, but about holding space for emotions many people didn't know how to express on their own. A song born in a classroom that changed everything. One of the most remarkable elements of Brad Arnold's story is how early his creative spark appeared. At just 15 years old, sitting in a high school math class, he wrote the lyrics to Kryptonite. What began as a teenager's thoughts on vulnerability and hidden weakness eventually became one of the most recognizable rock songs of the early 2000s. That origin story matters because it highlights the authenticity at the core of Brad's songwriting. Kryptonite didn't resonate because it was flashy. It resonated because it was relatable. The song spoke to the idea that everyone has a breaking point, even those who appear strong. When it later dominated radio airwaves, it carried that same honesty with it. Decades later, fans still connect with the song not because of nostalgia alone, but because its message remains deeply human and timeless. From Mississippi roots to global recognition, Three Doors Down did not emerge from glamorous studios or industry shortcuts. The band's roots were firmly planted in Escatawpa, Mississippi, where Brad Arnold and his bandmates built their sound through persistence and hard work. Early performances were humble, played in small venues and local gatherings, driven by passion rather than promises of fame. Brad initially balanced singing with drumming, showing the determination that defined those early years. When The Better Life was released in 2000, its success felt explosive, but it was built on years of quiet effort. The album's reception proved that meaningful music could come from anywhere, not just traditional industry hubs. For many fans and aspiring musicians, Brad's journey became proof that authenticity and perseverance still mattered. His rise did not erase his roots. It carried them forward, making his success feel earned and deeply relatable. Lyrics that became part of everyday life. As Three Doors Down's catalog grew, their songs began weaving themselves into the fabric of everyday life. Tracks like Here Without You, When I'm Gone, and It's Not My Time became emotional touchstones for millions. These weren't just radio hits. They were companions during long drives, late nights, separations, and moments of self-reflection. Brad Arnold's vocal delivery carried a quiet intensity that made listeners feel understood rather than entertained. His lyrics didn't tell people what to feel. They met them where they already were. That's why his music found its way into weddings, farewells, reunions, and private moments alone with headphones on. The songs endured because they never chased trends. Instead, they focused on feelings that never go out of style. Brad's ability to turn personal emotion into shared experience is what gave the music its lasting power. Success without losing the human touch. Despite selling millions of records worldwide and touring internationally, Brad Arnold maintained a reputation for humility and approachability. He never projected himself as larger than life, even when his band filled arenas. Fans often described him as grounded, kind, and genuine, qualities that reflected both on and off stage. That consistency helped Three Doors Down maintain trust with their audience over decades. Brad didn't reinvent himself to stay relevant. He stayed honest. In an industry known for excess and ego, his steadiness stood out. He focused on the music rather than spectacle, allowing the songs to speak for themselves. This approach gave his career longevity and respect. Success never seemed to distance him from the people who supported him. Instead, it strengthened the bond. Fans didn't just admire Brad Arnold, they felt comfortable with him, as though his success never came at the cost of his character, faith, kindness, and personal values. Beyond music, Brad Arnold has often been associated with strong personal values, including faith, generosity, and compassion. Those who have worked with him frequently speak about his warmth and sincerity, describing someone who listened as much as he spoke. His faith played a guiding role in how he approached both success and hardship, giving him perspective beyond fame. Rather than presenting perfection, Brad openly acknowledged struggles, growth, and gratitude. That honesty resonated deeply with fans who saw in him a reflection of their own journeys. He also supported charitable causes and participated in events honoring service members and first responders, using his platform responsibly. These actions weren't framed as publicity, but as quiet commitments. Brad's personal values enriched his public image, reinforcing the idea that integrity matters. His kindness became part of his legacy, woven seamlessly alongside the music he created. A community united by gratitude. Whenever news or updates about Brad Arnold circulate, the response from fans is immediate and emotional. Comment sections fill with memories, thank you messages, and stories of how his music helped people through difficult times. Fellow musicians and public figures often join in, acknowledging his influence and character. This outpouring isn't driven by spectacle, it's driven by connection. People remember where they were when they first heard Kryptonite, or how Here Without You helped them cope with distance or loss. That shared experience creates a sense of community that transcends geography and age. Brad's music became a common language for expressing feelings that are often hard to articulate. The collective response from fans shows that his impact goes far beyond charts or awards. It lives in gratitude, memory, and the quiet acknowledgement of how deeply art can shape a life. Respecting privacy. While offering support throughout moments of public concern, Brad Arnold and his family have consistently emphasized the importance of privacy. Fans have largely respected that request, choosing to express support through messages of encouragement rather than intrusion. This balance between public appreciation and personal boundaries reflects the mutual respect that has long existed between Brad and his audience. People understand that behind the music is a real person with loved ones, emotions, and a life beyond the stage. The willingness of fans to step back while still offering love speaks volumes about the relationship he built with them. It was never transactional. Brad gave music. Fans gave loyalty and understanding. That quiet respect is a powerful reminder that admiration does not require access. Sometimes the most meaningful support is simply honoring someone's space while holding them in thought, prayer, and gratitude for what they have already shared with the world. A legacy that continues to resonate. Whether heard on the radio, streamed late at night, or rediscovered years later, Brad Arnold's music continues to resonate across generations. His songs remain relevant because they are rooted in genuine human emotion rather than fleeting trends. Kryptonite still speaks to vulnerability. Here Without You still captures longing. And It's Not My Time still offers resilience. These messages do not age. Brad's legacy is not defined by speculation or headlines, but by the comfort and strength his music provides every day. As long as people find pieces of themselves in his lyrics, his influence will endure. The true measure of his impact is not found in numbers, but in moments. In that sense, Brad Arnold's voice remains present, steady, and meaningful, continuing to touch hearts and remind listeners that honesty in art can last a lifetime.